Alright, so let's get started. Most of my races were pretty good. I had a few instances where all my fault, I ran myself off the road, spun out a little too hard on the accelerator, even though I didn't feel like I was. But for some odd reason, on the final turn and the first turn, I'm really good at spinning myself out. But we are here in the Lexus RCF GT3 car. One of my favorite cars right now. Really is. The only downside it has, race-wise, especially when it came down to this Spa race, I had a harder time managing the fuel than I did in like the Subaru or the Supra. But the car just, I don't know, something about it. I like the speed it has. I like the overall handling. I also like the fact that it's not used very often by a bunch of different people. So I was having fun with this car, and I kind of made it a mission to use the GT3 and the GT4, or excuse me, Group 3 and Group 4 Lexuses for the next little while. Even though I am driving the BMWs in the Manufacturers Cup. But I'm very upset with what they did to the Group 4 M4. It's nerfed. 100% nerfed. Monza was a complete freaking joke for that car. The straight couldn't keep up with any of the cars. They would literally get horrible exits, and I would get a very good exit, and I still would get passed, or they would pull away by 5/10 of a second, all the way to a second, every single time. It was ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so anyway, this is one of the races on Spa. As you can tell, we had a fairly decent first lap, not too many issues. The Corvette that was behind me actually had an issue, but we started pulling away from these guys pretty early. There we go. Just go ahead and bring that up. Yeah, so I was still figuring out the best way to go through well crap, I forgot the name of that. Belle Rouge and Radian? No, I forget. Anyway, I was still figuring out my best way to go through there. Let's actually go back real quick because I missed it and I wanted to see what I was doing. So I would obviously stay in fifth, going through Belle Rouge or Belle Rouge, I don't remember. But I would keep it in fifth, floor it, and then I'd make a mistake for a while, and that was my mistake right there. I shifted into sixth. So when I shift into sixth, coming down that straight at a Radian, I do not pick up enough speed, and I actually lose speed, so cars were catching me pretty quick off that. So I stopped, and I hung out in fifth because I saw that I was gaining speed faster hanging out in fifth. I forget the name of this corner, but I did have a slight issue on my entrance into that corner, and then I would get a good exit and I would mess up the corner that I just went through. And I'd either have to hit the brake or it was going too slow. Here I would keep it in, I would go down to third, and I would literally shift into third at the last second, keep my RPMs up, and then just cruise around that corner, and that seemed to do a pretty good job. And then I was doing just fine through the S's. If I didn't shift right back down into second, coming into this corner, I screwed myself up. And then for some reason, I still have to let off a little bit coming through that last corner. That's okay. I was able to keep flat out all the way through until we hit the final chicane, which I'm still didn't really have my breakpoint set up for this one. I didn't exactly know where it was at, so I would screw this up every once in a while. But the other issue I was having is I would shift down into first and I would stay into first because I get a faster exit, but I increased my chances of spitting out, and for some odd reason, from first to second, if you did not shift right, if your RPMs weren't just right, your car would shift and you would bog, so I'd lose speed going into second and screw myself up. But yeah, I had to serve a penalty that slowed me down on the second lap, but on the third, I went through, is it En Rouge or Belle Rouge? I don't remember. But I had a clean run that time, no issues. Fairly decent entrance into the chicane. I've learned to try to keep as far left coming out of the chicane as possible to gain speed into that corner. And then I have my braking point down for there, just sometimes I either don't brake enough or I brake too much and I get a weird corner. It either feels too slow or it's too fast and I feel myself pulling out, or that's what she said. I would feel myself being pulled out to the edge, or I was going too slow and I would start tucking too far into the corner and hugging that curb. I don't know all the racing lingo yet. I'm working on it, but yeah, I do fairly decent on that. I guess it's the bigger chicane, but I do fairly decent on that one. And at this point, it's not telling me how far ahead I am of them, but I was about 4 to 5 seconds, I think. I know he screwed up once, and I think it was Sezu. I think Sezu ends up taking second at some point, I believe. But yeah, I think I made a mistake and they caught up by about 2 seconds, and I kept him around that 3-second mark. But oddly enough, every single one of these races I think I did 12 races overall. I won 10 out of the 12. I took first 10 times out of 12. But never once did I get the fastest lap. And the reason for that is, like I said, fuel. I have to manage fuel a little bit more, it feels like, in this car than I did with the BMW or the Supra. So I just wasn't able to keep that fastest lap. But yeah, I mean, this is literally what it was. Sadly, I got bumped back into D class and low C class. I made one very, very big mistake. And the final chicane, I Had a Supra come up behind me. He overshot the corner. He then tucked in, went up onto the curb, ran into me, slowed me down. I was catching up to him. Then I had another car very, very close behind me, and I went to go block him. I hit the brakes at my normal braking point. The Supra in front of me, though, apparently hit the brakes a little bit early, and I slammed into him pretty hard, and I sent him off the track. Got a 3-second penalty. I said sorry, and I actually left that race because I was fairly upset about everything that happened with that. So I backed out. I got dropped down to the P, and well, you see what happens when you get dropped down a class. It becomes very easy, and I'm not as challenged, which is part of my problem. Is I should be racing higher, but I'm not doing myself any favors with the mistakes that I'm making. And because I've been in first for almost every single one of these races. I've either been in first or second and I've come out first. I haven't had much competition to be able to keep my confidence in battling other cars. So I've been making mistakes with keeping up with the car in front of me, keeping a good distance or blocking appropriately with the cars behind me, and I've made mistakes and have sent myself off the track. Or I'd make a mistake into a corner, the car behind me would then hit me and ruin the races for both of us. Some of them are their fault, some of them was my fault because I broke too early, and even though they say that the person in the back, whatever that person in front of you is doing, you need to appropriately react to that so you don't cause the problem. I've still made one too many mistakes to justify it's always their fault. There are some that are, and it's super annoying, but not all of them. But yeah, we are on lap 5 now, and I still have a very decent lead on this one, so I must be thinking of another race that I did where the guy literally went from about a 6-second gap to all of a sudden 3 seconds because I screwed up 4 corners, including the final chicane. But we go through the final chicane just fine, and we cross the finish line and win that race. So that one was fun. Let's look at another. Oh yeah, Star Killer. Let's talk about him real quick. I actually want to look at that because I meant to look at this before. So there's Star Killer, right? So this is the guy that I actually had to compete with. He was a 10th off my time, off our qualification time. At this point, I was at a 220.194 or 0.149, one of those two. He was at like a 292 or something. So I don't know exactly what he did, but he lost time and he lost a position. So he's still in second there. And then he pitted. And I thought it was a Corvette. It's a Viper. That's my bad. Yeah, I'm not sure why he pitted. Unless he screwed up and forgot to, ooh, that sounds good. And forgot to see that. I want to see that. What did he do? Yeah, he forgot to change his fuel mapping and was wasting too much fuel, which it is a Viper, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised. But yeah, what did he do? Oh, he just grazed the edge. Okay, so yeah, with that he lost a couple positions. No. What? He did it again? Hold on. What? Didn't I go forward a lap? Yeah, he hit it. What is going on here? Okay. So for some odd reason, it's just being a pain. Okay, so let's go. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so he did only pit once. I was very, very confused. But yeah, he's in last place because of that. And then, of course, as you can tell, a bunch of people dropped out of the race. Kind of a very common thing in Gran Turismo. So I just want to see. I'm just going to pass the line real quick. Okay, so he does catch people. Catches one of the... Okay. If the Supra didn't ghost, that 100% would have been his fault. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I didn't see that part. Okay, yeah, so the Supra got pulled off the track, reset, or went off the track, got reset, and made a ghost. Okay. Oh, did he run out of fuel? He did. No, he didn't. What is he? Is this frustration? Is this anger? Is this not caring? Is this just... Hey, he was fine on fuel. Let's go look at the wonderful lap he pitted. Yeah, so he's already at a half tank on lap 2. Where I was still over a half tank on lap 3. Starting lap 3. Where are these other guys? Okay, so everyone's about the same, but he was the only one that was like at a half tank, wasn't he? No, it wasn't too bad. It would have been fine. Why did he pit? What? It had to have been because he felt like he went through too much fuel. Anyway, let's go look at another one. Not what I wanted. Okay. All right. So here is the next race. L-Dub, fast car. Yeah, that Mustang's fast. And again, Cezo's here. He's fast, and so is Frezzi. Those guys were fast. So this is the race where I screwed up and I lost 2 seconds. It was L-Dub that caught up to me. So let's get this one started. Let me Oops. Everything on. So, again, nothing's overly changed except for my driving. I made a few mistakes, lost me time, and I allowed L-Dub to catch up to me, which this should have been one of the races that I had the fastest lap, but because I started screwing up, L-Dub took it from me. I'm also very lucky that I wasn't rammed off the first corner every single time, but just I'm glad that didn't happen. So again, coming in, I'm hanging out in 5th gear, and I just cruise through, foot to the floor. Very, very stable. It's one of my favorite things about the Lexus is that it's fairly stable going through S-turns, chicanes, and stuff like that, as long as I don't screw up. But as I come into the second portion of Spa, I adjust my fuel mapping all the way to 6, and I go through all the turns in 6th. So I do lose time with that, but not that much, just enough to be slightly annoyed because I want to go faster. So fairly decent. Again, oh no, not what I wanted, not what I wanted. L-Dub is right behind me at this point, but I do pull away, and we'll see why. Because at some point I literally go from like a 1.5 seconds to like 5 or 6 seconds. So I'm not sure what happens. Here again, if I don't brake and downshift at the right point, I'm screwed. Excuse me. Also, I come out of, I'll back up real quick. Oh, too far. I apologize. Here we go. So, as I'm coming up to this next corner, I obviously drop down in a second, brake, come through, and as I come onto this short straight, I am dropping my map all the way back down to 1, and then full throttle all the way through. Change. So, he didn't get a penalty there. But yeah, here he's still only like a second and a half at most off, or behind me. Come through, make a fairly decent corner there. He did pretty good there too. Seemed like he had a little bit of a hard time. I'm probably too short on my entrance into the chicane. I will say that right now. So far still doing good. Right, we're about a second ahead. Everything's clean. I think I messed up this corner. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. So we're going. Fuel maps all the way back down to 1. Cruising. Very, very smooth all the way through again. Mustang comes. Ooh, that Mustang came flying. That was 10 seconds, really? Was he able to hold that? Ooh, yeah, he's a little squirrely. So I obviously pulled away from him with that. And this right here is right before, I guess I should talk about that. Right before I get to my braking point, coming up to the chicane, I move my map all the way back to 6, and I hang out in 6 for all of Zone 2, or Section 2, excuse me. I just hang out and go. Right here, think it was about lap 2 or 3 that all of a sudden I just leveled up in the dust for a little bit. Maybe we'll see it. No. He's driving really well. Going through that nice loop on the throttle. Shifted in 5th. All the way down to 2nd, and then just cruise through the chicane. Second, through the corner, drop my map down to 1, shift into 3rd. Have to lift. I have to lift there, otherwise I will go off the track. And now I just start kind of cruising away. And you can see that I'm starting to pull away from them a little bit there. Oh, was that it? No. These tires were squealing. Oh. Yeah, he's just twitchy. Alright, into the chicane. Probably broke too soon again, but cruised through it quite nicely. Getting on the gas. And that is lap number 2. I know I screwed one of these up, but I've gotten better at taking corner 1. Definitely gotten better at taking corner 1. Nice, smooth all the way through Belle Rouge again and out of Radion. Radion? I don't remember. Right, and then here I just hang out in 5th, even though it looks like I should shift. I don't. Map to 6, brake. Little too hard on that corner, just a little bit. You hear the tires squealing a little bit too much. I will lose time on that corner if I take it wrong. It's a downside that I have. I'm trying to make it better. You got to do this corner right, otherwise you go too far. So now I'm trying to wonder, what did I do? Because if he didn't make that much of a mistake, then I messed up some of my corners. Probably this one, because I had a problem. I did it in 4 races, where as soon as I hit that straight and I would change my mapping back to 1, in the process both my hands were trying to do something. So one hand was moving my clicker, moving my joystick down to 1, and then my right hand started shifting upward on the shift paddle, and I don't know why. It was just a dumb mistake, made me lose some time there. It might have been this race that I did it. Well, actually, I don't know. You guys can tell me down in the comments if I did it on this race or not. Did that corner pretty well. I could come out a little bit wider, but I hate Gran Turismo curbs. I really do. They're slippery. They slow you down a lot. It's not like ACC where I can come around that corner, let my tires hit the curb, and I'll be fine. Gran Turismo, I can't do that. So now I've opened up the gap to about 5. So let's find out what happened real quick, shall we? So why I all of a sudden pull away from him? He slowed down a lot. Oh, okay, so he hit the curb, so that's going to slow him down. So I pulled away from that because he hit the curb. I just did a 21.6. Handled that all right. Did he mess up Belarus? No, for some odd reason that was. So he literally lost time just off that, just off hitting the sausage on that last chicane. Huh. All right then. Everything's looking good, but as you can tell, that time's already dropped. He has caught back up. Probably because I messed up that first chicane. I always do. It's just not. It's not my fastest corner. So yeah, at this point, he literally hung out around 3 to 3.5 seconds behind me the rest of the race, which is probably very frustrating for him because he's keeping pace. He's just not going. He's just not able to keep up, or because our pace is the same, he's not able to catch up to me. Alright, and now, after the chicane, we are on the final lap. And at that point, it was unadventurous. I don't think I had any mistakes that I remember. I just cruised along. Amazing apparently did not conserve his fuel like he should have. But yeah, it's almost all my races were uneventful. And I don't even remember if I saved the one that was eventful, and that was when I got to the top of C class. I started racing B class guys. I was in third, and I screwed up. And I'm pretty sure it was the last race of the Spa before it changed over to Watkins Glen. So we will go look, and then you guys can see my epic finish for 7th place. So yeah, uneventful. He did start catching up. I screwed something up again. Like I said, he just hung out in that brief second, and then he was catching me. So lap 5, L-Dub stole the fastest lap from me. I don't know what he did. He was just, everything he was trying to do finally all came together in the last lap. And he destroyed my time by, I think, 0.4. Somehow, even though he did that. Really? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, 120. Yeah, he destroyed my time somehow. Woo! Anyway, that was that race. So, let's find the race that I screwed up. It should be oh so fun. So it should be this one. Yes, because I have a car in front of me. Oh, I was in 6th place, 7th place. So yeah, this one no, I ended in 7th. I started in 2nd. So yeah, this is this is my downfall, people. I think that I can get on the throttle sometimes, and I start getting on it, and even though I'm only feathering it a little bit, I'm over feathering it, so I cause myself to spin out. And I think I caused myself to spin out on turn 1. So, first off, Doggo, very fast, very good driver. I can keep up with him on the straights, but he handles those corners oh so well. Behind me in the red and gray Supra is Zeus. Another B-rated driver. And then that guy almost died while murdering a Corvette. So yeah, I'm just following them, I'm driving, I'm holding my own, I'm doing fairly well. And I believe I do fairly well through lap 1, and then lap 2, I just throw myself under the bus. Zeus is catching me quick. Zeus is fast. He knows how to drive the Supra. He knows how to actually get the full power out of the Supra. 100% OP car. Yes. Turn 2. Excuse me, lap 2. Turn 1, I decided to save a little bit more fuel because I was worried about my fuel consumption. And this is where I screw myself up. I tried to put my fuel mapping to 3. I put it to 3. I successfully put it to 3. Right before the turn, I turned, went a little wide, and spun myself out. And then had to let some cars pass. I did not see that BMW when I turned. I felt bad about that. So then I had to get back onto the track and chase after these dudes. What position was I at that point? 9th. So I'm in 9th place, chasing after guys, getting a little frustrated with myself, but I felt like I kept pretty good control. Just started driving, dropped my maps, or moved my map to 6, followed through. I'm a little slow because of confidence and frustration from spinning out. So I feel myself just not driving the way I need to. Confidence is a big killer. Just, you lose it, and it can sometimes take you a little bit to get back. But I'm just plowing through, trying not to follow the car in front of me, because I don't want to go off track like they did. Just worried about my lines. Went a little wide here. Nope, that's next lap. Here I did pretty well. Went a little, yeah, slightly wide there. Not bad, but I felt a little wide. Went wide there, which you can do in ACC. You can't do it here. Just no bueno, don't do it. Maps back to 1. And then at this point, I kind of get myself back together. And I just keep going at this point. I think I broke just a little late. One of these corners I broke late. Should have, I was just lucky enough to catch it. Not gonna have the same mistake on turn 1 again. Control, a little wide, doesn't matter. Kept control of the car, push through. Start catching up to the Corvette. And then I had one frustrating moment. Obviously, I cut Belle Rouge 500 or plus 5/10. Excuse me. Penalty. I get ahead of him and I brake, but then he tucked straight into me. Goes off the track because he broke late. And I hit him. Right there on that corner, I hit him. I didn't get a penalty for it, I don't think, but I actually don't know because me being me, I forgot to turn on the display. I apologize to all. So yeah, 0.500. I was like, alright, well, now I gotta catch the Corvette again. That's fine, do what I gotta do. A little bit more frustration for making contact with the Corvette. Penalty didn't bother me, I knew I screwed up. But I definitely knew I had some work to do at this point. Served my penalty. I am now penalty free and I'm flying down the road after that Corvette. That one I went just slightly wide. Corvette and the Subaru fighting each other. Corvette really just doesn't care. He'll just dive corners. Did a good Belle Rouge this time. Got the speed I needed coming up to YT. Still not enough though, I'm still about a second behind him. Making progress, getting closer. Coming through, nice exit. Just kind of cruise through that corner, get on the accelerator. Come through the second chicane. Obviously, very, very close to him now. Corvette went wide, and then they collided. Corvette went off the track, not the way I like to pass people, but it wasn't my fault, so I'm happy with that. Catch up to YT, I go wider around him, he got a penalty. I am now in 7th place. And we are now on the final lap of this race at Spa. So now I'm just like, all right, I got to somehow close this gap in front of me and try to take one more place. I've got the Supra in front of me. And I am now on a mission. Good exit out of Radian. Belgian people are going to kill me. Not bad through the first chicane, into the corner. Nice second gear turn. Was I wide? I was a little bit wide. I was able to hold it though. Good exit. Cruising through second. Back on power. Through the second chicane. I'm now right behind that Supra. I can see him. I can smell him. I'm just hoping he makes a mistake. Two guys start fighting with each other. The Supra in another car. And the Supra ran out of fuel. Very depressing. And here's my epic finish. I throw it into reverse and start going. And I finished 7th. I didn't know what else to do. I just did what I had to. It was going to be faster for me to throw it into reverse and just go than it would be to try to turn myself around. So yeah, a little bit more eventful. Not my proudest moment to have to finish a race in reverse, but hey, you do what you got to do. Also, by this race, my fastest time around Spa in the Lexus during qualification, or not qualifying, during the time trial was 2:19.820, something like that. So yeah, it wasn't a bad time. I felt pretty proud of myself to be able to get myself underneath the 20s. I'm not going to say that having a better wheel like the Fanatec is the reason for it. I think that the Fanatec just gave me a little bit more feeling of the car, of what's going on, and maybe it's just a false sense of security. But yeah, that is some of the races that I did Like I said, I had very good wins. And I feel like I'm getting better. I really do. Now I've just got to pull myself up into B class, start racing with those guys, start getting myself to be better, and start being more competitive in B class. That is definitely my goal right now. I'm kind of tired of letting me hold myself back because of frustration or anger because people aren't driving like they should. Sadly, though, that's how simulators are. People take way more chances than they should in racing sims. You would never do this stuff in real life. Diving corners and making contact, that 100% will get you a penalty. Aggressive blocking where you are going slower and then all of a sudden you try to stop a car who is going faster than you, who is behind you, and you don't want them to pass you because you want to keep your position. That stuff like that can get you a penalty, and I've heard that sometimes they will do a temp ban on your racing because of it. I've also become very used to ACC and their penalty setup, you know, especially when you're doing online races and you have actual stewards watching and reviewing stuff. You will, get the drive-through penalties. You will get disqualified. You will have to do stop and go penalties for either constantly going off the track, constantly using people as corners, making contact with cars that are unnecessary. There's definitely a difference between a racer-induced incident and a racing incident, right? A racing incident sadly just comes with racing, but when you cause the incident, it's definitely, it's a bigger deal, and that's why they have people, the stewards, who go through and always investigate stuff. And they're just like, hey, yeah, you know what? Definitely not a racing incident. We are going to pursue this. This driver is at fault. And then they get their drive-through penalty. But Gran Turismo is not very good at that. I guess we'll have a quick rant on that before I close this out and say bye-bye. I just wish Gran Turismo listened to everyone who have sent them, the complaints and the issues, trying, because they want them to be better. They want, like anyone who loves Gran Turismo, grew up with Gran Turismo, whether you started playing from Gran Turismo 1 like I did, or you're younger, or you started with Gran Turismo 4, 5, or 6, or Sport. It doesn't matter, right? If you played the game and you fell in love with the game, there's a reason why it's hard to go away from it. And even though I get mad and I do want to step away from it, nostalgia constantly kicks in. And some of the ease of use with Gran Turismo, just being able to jump into a quick race and actually race instead of having to sit there and find the race that's going on, go through the free practice, which can be anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. Then you have to go through the qualifier, and you can do one up to 3 qualifying stints, which can be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes per stint. And then you have the race, which finally starts. And it jumps into the reasons why I like ACCs, because you're always running 15-minute to an hour, sometimes 2, hour-long length races, which really forces you to have to rethink what you're doing, because you have to pit, you have to watch your fuel, your tires are actually wearing appropriately, plus temperature and tire pressures are always causing a concern. Temperature of the track, the time of day, like there's a lot more variables that go into it. So it can make it, fun, but it can also just be a little bit hard to get into just a race. So I really love how you can jump into a race and you do a 15-minute qualifier, or you have, you do your entry time is 15 minutes. You get in within that 15 minutes. You either decide to do a qualifying lap or not, and then you race. And then you go through that. You follow whatever rules Gran Turismo loosely put into play and finish the race. And as soon as that's over, you can jump straight into another one. Yeah, it's hard. I love the game so much. I love the cars that they put into it. I just hate the lack of responsibility that Gran Turismo, or that the people at Gran Turismo and PD have put into their game. Sucks. It really does. Anyway, with that random rant over with, I will call it a day. You all have a wonderful day, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe. That definitely helps me out. And I will see you all on the track. Bye-bye.